I was testing a semi-finals workout and I felt a pop in my knee doing a baby box over. It was like 2-3 weeks before strength in depth. It wasn't that much pain, and then a few days later it was just like swollen. I couldn't do anything on them. I was like, oh shit, like this is not good. I had to go and compete on a torn meniscus, but we got through it. Like, it's cliche to say, but like when people say, oh, I was in the best shape of my life, like I was probably there or thereabouts, like fitness wise. So at first I was like, oh, like what's the chances of this happening? Like everything, I kind of like gone bad in the season already, and then that just like topped it off. And I was just like, oh well, I gotta get through this. So let's just like do the best I can. And I had like really good physios and stuff who like got me ready for the comp, strapped me up, and just got through the weekend. When I went in for my scan, I was like, I knew I had to have the op. So I said I could pick the date for my operation, so I was like, right, I'm going to do the Dubai qualifiers and I'm going to go in the day after the qualifiers end, and use that as my motivation to get back to like finish on some sort of high for the end of the year, because the season's just been like just crazy whirlwind. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then the day after the qualifiers ended, I went straight in for the operation.
We're now in Dubai.
Yeah.
Knees healed?
Yeah. It's like, I want to say it's nearly 8 weeks today maybe, since the op. 28th of September I think I had it done, yeah.
And what exactly was the procedure?
So when they seen it on the scan, it didn't look as bad, but when they went in, it was like a little bit of like a tricky situation, because the meniscus had actually come away and it was sticking behind my ACL. So they managed to remove that without repairing anything, which was really good because it was quicker rehab and quicker recovery. Different kind of pain that it's just like, it's so hot. By the time you get to like 100, you're like, I've only got 60, but that's like the longest part. Woo. Yeah, like I competed in 2019. Yeah, so I was obviously at a much different level back then because I was purely weightlifting. So that was kind of like my crossover between like deciding to go full-time CrossFit, and I was still off the back end of the Commonwealth Games. So it was very different to now, where it's like I've dedicated every second of my life over the last 3 years to be like a CrossFit athlete. So it's a lot different. So I'm excited in a different way.
How have you been feeling like the last 8 weeks, obviously recovering? Has it been ups and downs? Has it been difficult?
To be honest, there's not been many downs, which was really like quite surprising. I think it was because it was like a completely different goal and motivation to anything I've ever had before. Like it's always just been like, need to do well at this, need to do well at this, need to qualify for this. Like it's not that feeling. I'm like purely doing it for myself and like to test myself, test my knee. There's not one part of me which is just like anxious about the outcome, which would normally be the case. And now I'm just like all in on myself, which is really exciting. It's like a different feeling.
How was that?
It's good. I'm just like,
having so much fun. Sweating. 2 minutes of work and we're like, oh.
And it was just like, and the last one he was like, okay, let's make sure.
1 minute.
Make sure.
Behind the line, please.
It's good. It's just,
You've got 1 minute
Johnny said
we
before
start
I
this
went, he
heat.
was just like, no regrets. I was like, no regrets. Let's go. As an elite athlete, you obviously have expectations you want to win, but like I'm not focusing on that as such. I'm focusing more on like, I want to perform well in every event, and like if an event comes up where like it's going to test my knee a little bit more, or like I'm like, okay, I haven't done this yet, but I'm willing to give it a go, like them kind of things.
Is there anything in particular that is exciting you about this competition, like this time around?
I think purely just like the back end of what's been like an awful season, and an awful year of just everything going wrong. I'm just excited to just be here, like for the first time, feeling like I'm doing it just for myself and nobody else. So my hand and what was my good leg On the clean, I just caught it really off. And yeah, just my fingers went back, and then my knee just took most of it as well. So just the safest option to kind of call it and just remember that it's not the bigger picture. Semi-finals is, so I'll get back, probably get an X-ray on my hand and a scan on my knee, and then go from there. It's just, you know what? It's just the year. I'm not even. It couldn't have gone any worse. So I'm just like, just get this year done. It's over in how many days? Start again in January. Yeah, I've never had to withdraw from a competition before, so it was pretty tough. It's pretty hard pill to swallow, but I know I'll be thankful for it, even though it hurts right now. Like, I know tomorrow, next week, I'll be like, I'm glad that I didn't. It's not the end of the world, you know. It's not the season, so I just need to be healthy. Health is wealth, so I need to be ready for the season. So it's all okay.